Welcome to this DaVinci Resolve Fusion node breakdown. Today's node is the DaVinci Resolve FX Directional Blur node. So we're going to jump into Fusion, and we've got some media. Let's go ahead and add a directional blur, but make sure you select the correct one, because sometimes there's a glitch. So I just clicked on this one. So this directional blur, the DRBL shorthand, is the Fusion version. The one under it is the Resolve FX version, meaning this is a DaVinci Resolve FX, which we can use in Fusion. So if I click on this and I'm selected on that, hit add, and I go here, I've got my directional blur. Now, sometimes, even though we click on this one will pop up for some reason sometimes. So if you select your directional blur and it looks like this, and you only have your types up top, and it doesn't look like this, you've got the wrong one. So this is the Fusion version. This is the DaVinci Resolve version. So let's go ahead and delete this, but they're both able to be used within Fusion. So let's go ahead and connect this up, and let's look at what we got. So first, before we go anywhere, I want to cover this symmetric blur. So if I zoom into, say, her fingernail, and let's change this blur strength. If I zoom into her fingernail and I blur it up a little bit, you can see our blur is going from the middle in both directions. So it's blurring out in two directions. And if I change my angle, it rotates around that direction on both sides. Now if I uncheck the symmetric blur, now it's only blurring in one direction. And it's only blurring in the direction that we have our blur angle. So it's going from the middle out. So that's what the symmetric blur does. It's going to double that blur, but remove your original footage. Whereas unchecked is going to have your original footage with it blurred. So let's go ahead and check that. And our blur strength is exactly that. It is the strength of our blur. And then our blur angle is the angle of the blur. So as you can see, it's changing the angle of our blur. The more blur, the more that angle is rotating. And underneath we have blur type, which is realistic, which kind of emulates a camera movement. Or we have stylized, which is more of just a straight digital blur. So let's switch that back to realistic. Now under channel adjustment, we can adjust the individual red and green and blue channels if we want. Let's bring that down a little bit. And we can also adjust our alpha, but you're not going to see anything here. And if I select our alpha channel, you see there's no difference because we don't have an alpha in this. In order to have an alpha, we actually have to have an alpha image going in. So if, say, like this media was cut with our little ellipse here, now we've got an alpha going on in the back. And if we look at this and look at our alpha, you can see that alpha is now being applied to our directional blur. And if I go to this alpha, I can dictate how much of that blur is applied to that alpha. So if we look here, now I can change that blur. And it is dependent on the rotation and the blur strength. Under advanced controls is where we change our border type. So if I disconnect this so we actually have borders, the default is reflect. So it's just going to reflect those pixels at the edge. If I have black, it's going to get rid of those and it's going to be transparent or blackened at the edge. If I have reflect, it'll reflect them. Replicate is replicate. and wrap around will wrap around. So that is the DaVinci Resolve FX directional blur node. I will see you in the next node break now.